O-Level Biology 5090, Chapter 12, Disease and Immunity, Part 3. And in this part, we will discuss about immunity. Immunity is the ability of the body to protect us from many infectious diseases. So the immunity is of two types, active immunity and passive immunity. First of all, we will discuss what is active immunity. So the immunity that develops from creating antibodies to a disease or illness, and these antibodies are produced by lymphocytes. And in the next slide, we will discuss many facts about active immunity. So the facts of active immunity are: number one, the production of antibodies against a specific disease by the immune system, means our immune system or our lymphocytes, they produce antibodies when any pathogen enters into our body and produce toxin. So as a result of production of those toxins, lymphocytes produce antibodies to kill them, naturally acquired through disease. So we can get this active immunity is actually of two types, that is natural active immunity and artificial active immunity. So the natural active immunity is acquired through diseases, and artificial active immunity is acquired through vaccination. So what are vaccinations? Vaccines Vaccination is actually to take the vaccine, which includes inactivated toxins, killed microbes, parts of microbes, and visible but weakened microbes. Memory cells are produced when our body get active immunity. So in active immunity, our body produce memory cells, and protection for active immunity is permanent. That is, if a body is active immunity is activated, so this immunity is permanent. But in passive immunity, the immunity will be the temporary. Antigens are only encountered in active immunity. Okay, active immunity takes several weeks to become active, but the passive is immediate. So our lymphocytes has to detect the type of pathogens, and then they will produce the antibodies. So it will take time, or it will take several weeks to get immunity against those microorganisms. So what happens? What happens which when antibodies bind their specific antigens? It means the antibodies have specific antigens to attack. So antibodies defend us against infection by binding to viruses and microbial toxins, thereby inactivating them. Actually, this is the function of antibodies, that they inactivate the microorganisms or pathogens which enter into our body and produce some chemicals or toxins. The binding of antibodies to invading pathogens also recruit various types of white blood cells are also involved into it. You can say that each pathogen has its own antigens with a unique shape. So an antibody that fits the shape of the antigen is needed. So this complete the shape. You can say antigen and antibodies. Their shapes should be the complementary to each other. That will be the best way to kill them. Otherwise, there will be no possibility to kill them because they will not be able to bind with their specific shape. By binding to specific antigens, antibodies eliminate foreign substances. When a pathogen such as harmful bacterium or virus enters the body, the variable regions of the antibody binds on the pathogen and eventually causing a variety of actions, such as antibodies may attach to the surface of the bacteria to mark, making it easier for the pathogens to find and ingest them. So whenever any antibody will find an antigen, they will mark them. It will be easy for the phagocytes to find the killed microbes, because in this way the antibodies will neutralize them, they will kill them, and phagocytes will engulf them. So they may clump the bacteria together, or they may neutralize the poisonous proteins or toxins that the bacteria produce. Then, as a result of their clumping together at a place, the phagocytes will engulf them. So in this way, the antibodies bind with their specific antigens. And in the next slide, you can see the different types of antibodies and their shapes. So some specific antibodies have complementary shapes. You can see these antibodies A have the shape on which the antigens will be attached, and you can say the different shape. This is the, both of these, they have different shapes. So due to the different shape of these antigens and antibodies, it will be, if the different type, these antibodies A attack these foreign particles A. These are the foreign particles. So these antibodies will attack on them. They will attach on their surface. And these antibodies are different in shape. So they will also be able to attach because they have complementary shape. But in the third picture, you can see both of they have different shapes. So in this way, they will be unable to attach with one another. And due to this reason, these antibodies will not be able to kill those microorganisms or antigens. So there should be this complementary, due to complementary shapes, specific antibodies can kill these specific antigens. How do vaccines work? So in this slide, we will discuss about this. You can say, what are vaccines? Weak or dead bacteria are introduced into the patient often by injection. This process is called as vaccination. And these white blood cells are activated to produce antibodies that fight the disease. When these vaccines enter into our body by injection, then white blood cells or lymphocytes are activated to produce antibodies that fight those diseases. And then if the microorganism reinfects the person, the antibodies neutralize the invading cells because the memory cells are produced in the body. So whenever any microorganism will reinfect or re-enters into the body, then the body will be able to make antibodies against them immediately, because there are memory cells in the body that will be able to produce antibodies immediately after entering those microorganisms. So in this way, vaccines are very helpful. They protect us from many diseases. And in the next slide, we will know about the importance of vaccinations. Vaccinations lessen the chances of getting sick, and vaccinations at the right time can help in, if we are vaccinated, then the vaccinations can help us activating the immune system without harming the body. These vaccinations will activate our immune system, protecting from dangerous and contagious infectious organisms. So vaccinations are always helpful for us, preventing the spread of the disease causing organisms to other, improving the quality of life. When we are free of diseases, then our life quality will be improved. So in this way, vaccinations play a great role in our lives. to protect us from many diseases. Now, the second type of immunity is called as passive immunity. And passive immunity is a type of immunity that occurs when a person is given antibodies rather than making them through his or own immune system. That is, our body is able to produce the antibodies. But in some cases, if body is unable to produce the antibodies, in that case, passive immunity is, you can say, helpful for us. For example, passive immunity occurs when a baby receives a mother's antibodies through the placenta or breast milk. So in this is the type of passive immunity. This is the example of passive immunity in which a fetus or baby is able to receive the antibodies from mother. So passive immunity is also of two types, and natural passive immunity and artificial passive immunity. In natural passive immunity, the baby gets the antibodies from the mother. In artificial passive immunity, any person can get the immunity from the any other person because his body is not producing the antibodies at that time. So at that time, passive immunity is helpful for us. So it can be natural if the baby is getting it from the mother, and it can be artificial when we get it from anybody. And in this slide, we will discuss the advantages of breastfeeding. In breastfeeding, the babies have advantages as decreased allergy and asthma. They can be free from many diseases because they are getting the antibodies from the mother. Enhanced immune system, their immune system will be, you can say, improved or free of any type of problem. Cognitive development is the ability of think, development of ability of learn and think. So this development takes place in the infants who are getting the milk from the mother. Reduced risk of infections. They will the risk of infection is reduced if the babies are on mother's milk or breastfeeding. Healthy weight and digestion. If they are healthy, they have their immune system is strong. Their ability to you can say thinking or learning is increasing, so the body weight or digestion process will also increase. So in this way, the breastfeeding has advantages for the infants. They are free of diseases, they have healthy mind, they have a healthy you can say digestive system, so their body weight will also increase and their immune system will also be very strong. So in this way, they have advantages. So it was all about the disease and immunity part 3. Thanks for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.